Welcome back for another video. The video you've been waiting for is back, the complete pre-season form players guide. Everything you need to know about every team, who's putting up the best numbers, tactical observations, all the results and more. Everything you need to know for FPL. By far the most time intensive video of the year. Let's get into it. And don't forget to take advantage of Scout's 7 months free offer with the link below. In addition to the info here in this video, they track every single player's pre-season minutes, they do match reports, goal involvements and loads more on top of all the other members' benefits. Click the link at the top of the description or scan the QR code on screen to get on top of it all as the Game Week 1 deadline nears. Arsenal first, and the champions have given us a lot to think about following the Community Shield. They've been a difficult team to get a read on as far as which players to own from the get-go. Zolas has been the pre-season standout with a goal and 6 assists to his name, including the Community Shield against City. Coventry home as well, such a standout fixture Game Week 1. Can he sustain good numbers in the Premier League after impressing the Belgian League the last few years? In the defence, you've got Raya and Gabriel, they're like the two nailed on picks. The others do have question marks over them, like Calafiori does look set to start the season. Obviously scored a great goal, but will Nkapia get a game later at some point? It might not matter if he continues to take up such advanced positions like in that City game, leading to that goal, and yet another half chance as well on the volley to bag a second. It's been widely reported that Arsenal are in the market for a new centre-back as well, which does cast a bit of doubt longer term over Mosquera's nailedness, and obviously Timber's a few weeks away from returning potentially, which could make White a problem if that happens. Arsenal were very dominant against Man City though after some mixed results early in the pre-season, and that was with the likes of Rice and Saka on the bench as well, Timber and Saliba missing. Calafiori got 59 minutes. Of course that's bad news in FPL, no clean sheet, but in the context of that game it was 3-0 already. His ownership rose by about 2% during that game alone, so about 100,000 managers picked him up. Were you one of them? Odegaard on the watch list as well, he bossed that game. Is he back to his best? He'd make a mockery of 6.5 mil if he can get back to his form of a couple of years ago. Aston Villa have been very busy, 8 pre-season games. No real standouts besides wonder kid Maggio, who's now injured for a while anyway, and probably was never going to start ahead of Watkins. He's only 17 I think. Buendia with 2 goals 4 assists though could be one to consider for a 6 mil, likely on pens and direct free kicks. Konsa for 4.5 mil is one of those names that's been linked with Arsenal. He would be a game breaker if that materialises, but yeah, Villa holding out for something like 60 mil, so it might not happen. João Gomes and Anana both injured for the start of the season. Villa players probably avoids at both ends of the pitch initially. Emi Martinez set to leave as well. Villa have reached an agreement with Parma to sign Suzuki. Krupi is sidelined with an injury for a while, which has seen Kluivert getting lots of minutes in the same sort of role in pre-season. The forgotten man really, barely played much last year did he, but of course the year before he had 18 goal moments, 158 points. He and Tavernier are interesting ones for 6 mil. You've got Kluivert on pens, you've got Tavernier with some free kick and corner duties. Antonio Silva for 5 mil could be one to watch as well, he's their Senesi replacement. Ryan, also worth mentioning, he's been playing like a second striker at times, which is really interesting for 6.5 mil, but again, perhaps not from the get-go, given it's Man City away first. Brentford had an unbelievable end to their pre-season. They absolutely battered Eintracht Frankfurt 7-0. Schade with a 10-match rating, he got 2 goals, 2 assists that game. So much food for thought coming out of this game. Thiago bagged a brace as well, he assisted one of Schade's goals. And then you had Dango scoring as well, Coyote got an assist, I think it's Collins got one, Sangare scored as well. Incredible piece of business by Brentford, Sangare. And obviously while the common advice is to avoid new signings in FPL generally, and just wait and see how they get on, he could be an exception. He's only 5.5 mil first of all, so it is low risk and you're only spending 1 million of your budget since you've got to spend 4.5 mil there anyway. But this graphic from Alex Volo underlines how good his DEFCON numbers are. So midfielders need 12 in a game to get those plus 2 points, and he's averaging well over that per game. More DEFCONs per 90 than last season's best midfielder in the league, which was Anderson. And of course there is still a question mark whether he can sustain the numbers in the Premier League, but he seriously is a baller, like good ball carrying, very physical. So don't sleep on those DEFCON picks. I know they're pretty unglamorous, but those points do add up. Like Anderson, he really quietly went about his business last season for 5.5 mil as well, but he ended up on 180 points, which is mad for that price. So should we own Thiago then for 8 mil? Is he still worth it? It's a huge price jump, and it is a tall ask to replicate last season's numbers. I mean, if he does, 8 mil is good value. He's not currently in my Game Week 1 draft. There's players like João Pedro and Cavalier for cheaper that could provide more points per million early on. And don't forget, that is ultimately what you're targeting in FPL, the most points per million, with the exception being the premiums that you need to also captain. Brighton kept 2 clean sheets in their final 2 pre-season games. Hinshaw were looking really threatening, continuing to take up promising positions like last season. And Vuskovic, a huge aerial threat. Over his career, albeit it's a small one so far, he's still 19, he's averaged a goal every 4 games. Of course, different league as well, still only a teenager, so not that comparable, but the numbers do leap off the page regardless when you compare to others his age, and he's a DEFCON monster. He's the only Brighton player that actually hit DEFCON in their final game. He got 10 that match. Gross took corners both left and right side, plus a direct free kick shot. I'm a little conflicted by him, like he's 35 now and they have to play a Europa qualifier this Thursday. Then they've got the Premier League Game Week 1 game Sunday, and then the second qualifier Thursday again, then Game Week 2 on Sunday. Plus you've got Minte and Mitoma out. Plus on top of that, Gomez was spotted limping down the tunnel, and there's rumours he also left the stadium limping. There's really so many routes to points with Gross though. Like I say, corners both side, free kicks and probably penalties. He took one in pre-season. I'm wondering a bit about the defenders, like perhaps Poskagli and Vuskovic will be the centre-back pairing, but then there is Strike as well. He could be the one to own, but he was absent from the squad last match, so he feels like an avoid. Some are arguing Vuskovic will be eased in, or used in the Europa initially, so it could be a slight risk there, but he is the real deal, elite signing from Brighton. He's going to be great in FPL. If you appreciate the serious hours that go into research and writing this one, hit subscribe. I've got the best content of all my pre-season lined up for this week coming, leading into Game Week 1, which you don't want to miss. Last thing to mention as well, I'm doing a flash sale on FPL.page and the FPL Focal app, 80% off. That ends next week, that's off for the entire first month, so that's literally 17 pence per week, and that'll take you up to about Game Week 5. There's a QR code on screen, or you can go FPL.page/subscribe. And there's no commitment, so if you don't find it useful, you can cancel any time in one click. Give it a try yourself and you'll see why it's trusted by the FPL community. So, the single most in-form player in pre-season is João Pedro with a whopping 8 goals and 2 assists. The theory was, with a full summer off, he didn't get called up by Brazil, he's going to be raring to go and well rested, and he has looked electric. I mean, the same theory, to be fair, hasn't landed for Palmer. He's only got 1 assist in pre-season, and he's looking like an avoid for 9.5 mil, at least initially. Maybe in Game Week 4, with that whole home fixture, he's worth buying then onwards. Some players joined up late following the World Cup, like Rodgers and James, didn't play a minute until that final pre-season match. This is how they lined up. Palestra's looked electric as well in wing-back in pre-season, very, very attacking, but 5.5 mil is a lot to pay, so he's on the watch list for now. If Colwill can stay injury-free, and maybe that's a big if, he's got potential for 5 mil as well. 6 mil for Lacroix is pretty steep, and he was priced in based on last season's DEFCON numbers, which may not continue at Chelsea to the same degree. And the same applies to the other centre-backs that have moved, like Senesi, something to keep in mind. Coventry's appeals mostly restricted to their defenders, and Rushworth as well, especially if you're on bench boost Game Week 2, with that whole home game in the second game week. Van der Wijk and Thomas are 2 standouts. New signing Amenda as well, probably the one that partners Thomas in centre-back. Van der Wijk produced good attacking numbers in the Championship last season. Obviously whether he can replicate that in the Prem remains to be seen. I prefer the centre-backs, and this goes for all the promoted teams, because they just feel likely to get you DEFCON than the full-back is to get assist or DEFCON. Haji Wright was their top scorer last season. He's got a reported injury, which has made Sims look like an interesting option for Bench Boost 2. Only 5 million. He scored against Monaco in their final pre-season game, but they've now reportedly signed a Wani, so it's kind of back to the drawing board there, and probably avoid everyone except those defensive assets and the keeper. Rudoni is highly rated, but he is still working his way back from injury, so avoid. Grimes is a 5 mil mid. He should be nailed in every game if he really stretched. He might work. Urenki as well. He's a new signing. It looks like Munoz could be set to leave Palace this window potentially. Migueza started their final preseason game in right wing back. He joined this window. Mateta hasn't played a single minute, so avoid him. Frank has got 4 goals in pre-season, but he's not going to be a starter, so avoid him as well. Canvo produced some of the best DEFCON numbers in the league last season. Among defenders, only Senesi and Hill could better his 64% hit rate, and those obviously were both at Bournemouth, and their system set up perfectly for it, and Senesi's gone to Spurs, so he's an interesting one for only 5 mil Canvo. By the way, if you go to community stats table in the Scouts members area, it looks like this. Search FP or Focal and you'll see all the stats table that I use in my videos and for my research there. So feel free to steal those. There's a link below to become a member. They're doing 7 months free on the annual plan. So how have Everton got on? After a slow start to life in the Premier League last season, I'm backing Barry to have a much better year. He did grow as the season went on, and he has looked really impressive in their friendlies. Good link-up play, he's got 3 goals, 1 assist. Only 5.5 mil with Palace home in Game Week 1 as well, so he's nice for a bench boost in Game Week 1. And you could actually bench him all the way to Game Week 5 when they've got Ipswich. Barry won a pen which he actually took himself early in pre-season, despite Ndiaye being on the pitch. So there was a bit of concern that maybe Ndiaye's off pens now, but they did actually win a further 2 pens in later games, and Ndiaye took them both. 6 mil is a bit steep for Tarkowski, but he does actually still have that potential to be worth it. 3 assists from Dewsbury Hall, he's been getting advanced plenty still. He's played every single game in pre-season. Norgard hasn't played at all, so avoid him for 5 mil. He might be a good enabler later for that cheap. And obviously Garn had a great year last season, 53% success rate with DEFCONs, so that's among the best in the entire league among the mids, but he's had surgery. He might be available, might not. Perhaps he'll be available for 5.9 mil a bit later after a price drop. Some rumoured transfer interest in Ndiaye. If he does stay, he looks great for 6 mil. Don't be phased by last year's numbers. Don't forget he missed 5 games when he was at AFCON, and he is capable of scoring more than he did. Fulham ended their pre-season with a 1-0 win. Gonzalo Garcia comes in at 6 mil, arriving from Real Madrid, having played under Arbeloa there. Fulham's opening fixtures are a bit rough. They've got Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United in the opening 5. But look at that fixture swing from Game Week 6. They play all 3 promoted teams in a row from Game Week 6. And I can guarantee that many are going to be all over Fulham assets for that run, Game Week 6 onwards. Which is also a nice wildcard window, given it's the big international break. And there are some other fixture swings as well. Iwobi with 2 goals, 2 assists has impressed. Only 5.5 mil. Possible pen duties. Really not much to report on with Hull. They're basically complete avoids. McBurney for 5.5 mil could be handy if you're on bench boost too and you want to take on those Coventry defence owners. But they are massive favourites overall to go straight back down. It'd be a miracle if they stay up probably. So it's just hard to see where the best picks will be if there's any good ones. Especially when we've got 4 mil defenders from Ipswich and Coventry. 4.5 mil Hull forward Destan could get some minutes this season. Ipswich have been really busy. They've made lots of signings. The Brazilian striker Emerson arriving. He's got 3 goal involvements. Davis, the standout performer. He got a brace one game, a further 2 assists as well in other matches. Now, something worth noting is that O'Neill has been using O'Shea and right back. He was centre back last season for them, with Diop and Greaves the one playing as centre back. So that will reduce O'Shea's DEFCON potential. He did actually score a curler top bins in their final game, O'Shea. I didn't know he had that in his locker. It has got me wondering though if Diop or maybe Davis are the best 4 mil defenders to own from Ipswich. Diop is just really highly owned, so it could be prone to an early price fall, like if they concede in the opening 3 game weeks, which is very possible. You might have spotted Florentino's name on that midfielder's DEFCON list earlier. He had a 56% hit rate when starting for Burnley. Ipswich have signed him now, and he's only 5 mil in FPL. Very low attacking potential though, probably get a fair few yellows. Wally Ageli, I've said his name totally wrong there, but that's how it's written, is my favourite of the 4.5 mil forwards. He won't be now, don't get me wrong, but he's actually got a really good chance of starting Game Week 1, and he should get occasional starts here and there, quite a few cameos, 2 assists in pre-season. I've been so impressed by Leeds. They've made some really smart recruitments, and they've got a really well-rounded squad. Like Trafford and Mihajlovic immediately look like top-class signings, and Mihajlovic's DEFCON numbers are elite. Like, he could be this year's Senesi, along with Vuskovic. He scored a ridiculous bicycle goal as well last match, which was quite unexpected. I don't think he had that in his locker either. You'll see him spraying very long balls in games. It'll probably lead to the odd assist, or maybe some pre-assists. Loads of good options at Leeds. Rodon for 4.5 mil is great. He's going to start the season as centre-back as well, playing in the back 3. Ball now is set to leave. Elvedi arriving, but Leeds fans not predicting Rodon to lose his spot. It could happen, much later if they got some bad results and he wants to switch to a back 4, or if he picks up an injury, then he might have to fight for a way back in the team. Rodon's got an interesting new role in the current system. He's been pushing to right wing back, and then Bogle or Justin, whoever's playing right wing back, goes all the way forward to right wing. Rodon sometimes further than Bogle, pushing that far up, really far advanced. It might be a bit of pre-season tinkering, but Farke did do it at the end of last season as well a little bit. It led to a cracking quote after their final pre-season game. It was a 4-0 win over Augsburg, where Farke called him Joe Salah. On that note, how are Liverpool getting on? The Liverpool attack is really popular right now. Only Bruno is higher owned than Szoboszlai among mids, and Wirtz has been playing as a 10 just behind Isak in pre-season. He's got 2 goals. For 7.5 mil, he's got huge potential. And they face Newcastle game week 1, who've lost so many key players, plus Jonatan's out injured now. It's a valid strategy to double up with Zobo and Wirtz. Isak will be an incredible pick as well if he can get back to form, and I see no reason why he can't. Now, given Ekitike's out for the rest of the year, I could see his minutes being managed a little bit in some early subs, so I like the 2 mids more. Leone and Xhaka haven't played a single minute in pre-season, and Gomez is injured as well for the start of the season, so the defence could be a little bit iffy. And Iriola did come up with this quote the other day saying his team can't currently run for more than 30 minutes, something like that. So I don't know, it could take a while for them to warm up to Iriola and his system and what he demands of them. Araujo has joined on loan to partner Van Dijk, looks set to be the Game Week 1 starter. Kirk has of course earned a move to Liverpool after playing really well under Iriola at Bournemouth, who is now the Liverpool manager, so I like him a lot for 5.5 mil. And Mbeumo is Man United's most informed player, 4 goal involvements in pre-season. Sesko's been out, which has seen Mbeumo actually playing up top as well. He scored against PSG. I prefer him to Cunha. Mbeumo last season registered 17.2 XGI, Cunha 10.3, so actually wasn't even close in that respect. But Dorgu's been playing the Cunha position as well. And obviously, where does Rashford fit in as well? There is competition there. Man United got the best 2 opening fixtures, so some are opting for a Man United triple up, which is valid. Maguire did score against AC Milan in their final game off a Bruno corner for the assist. He's the new target for those set pieces. But they did lose 4-2 in that final game against Milan. Amorim's AC Milan, by the way. And Bruno missed a penalty. He actually missed 2 in pre-season in a row. And that's 3 of his last 7 that he's converted, which is crazy. Man City have had a very short pre-season, which is typical for them, not new. Semenyo has been by far the standout. He's got 5 assists. Could make a mockery of the 8.5 mil price tag this season, despite the price increase. He'll play a lot of 90 minutes for them. One thing we'll have to see is what's different under Maresca compared to Pep. There's going to be a lot of similarities. The wingers could be used as a bit more of creators rather than goal scorers. That's what we've seen a lot in pre-season games, but that isn't to say they'll never score either. Of course they will. The tactical setup based on pre-season looks like it could be tailor-made for Haaland, which is unsurprising. He'll probably thrive, and he is by far the most owned player in the game, despite also being the most expensive player in FPL history. O'Reilly, Anderson, Haaland, all in the starting 11 in the Community Shield. As we were saying at the start of the video, Man City was so poor in this game. Arsenal looked so much sharper, step ahead, more incisive. It's only one game, of course, and doesn't necessarily mean anything. City have lost the Community Shield and gone on to win the treble before. Gay was benched with Diaz and Vardy, the centre-back pairing, and Doku off at half-time with a potential injury. Haaland only got a 53-minute run out, so you're going to feel better about that if you're on a no Haaland draft. If you've got Haaland and Bruno in your team, who's your captain for Game 1? Newcastle have got some differentials that could turn out great. Like they've got Wissa, can he get back to his best? There's Barnes, Gordon's gone, there's Chow. But they really are in a bit of a rebuild right now. They've lost so many key players. Bruno G gone, Gordon gone, Tonali gone. The fixtures are actually pretty great after the first couple of game weeks. Chow's the only one that's tempting me right now with his aerial threat and DEFCON potential, but as it stands, not a single Newcastle player in my team. And of course, Eddie Howe leaving, one of the many manager changes this season for 26-27, so let's see how Newcastle get on. Over at Forest, it's been a great pre-season for Igor Jesus, who's found the back of the net 4 times. Gibbs White, the main man, don't get me wrong, everything runs through him. Despite the 8 mil price tag, he's going to be a good pick over this season. He's on pens for them, plus the set pieces. Wood, when starting, could be ahead in the pecking order for penalties. He did actually score one in the final friendly with Gibbs White not on the pitch. One thing to mention is that Igor Jesus is much more effective playing as a 10, which was his role when he was banging them in this pre-season, and then Wood got injured and he had to go up top where he was less effective. Wood did make it back from injury for the final pre-season friendly where he did score that pen, so Igor Jesus could be fantastic still. Forest fans are crying for a new striker, and of course Awani is now gone to Coventry, so maybe it'll happen. If I was ranking the 6 mil forwards, I would go Calvert-Lewin, Igor Jesus and then Brobby. They're all decent picks though. Nico Williams could benefit from Glasner's arrival. Like, we saw how good Munoz was over the years at Palace, and Williams takes the corners on one side as well, and he's always done pretty well for baseline bonus, so basically he's often got a shot at earning bonus points when keeping a clean sheet, and his DEFCON numbers are actually great as well for a wing back. And given they've also tweaked the rules in FPL this season for BPS in a way that benefits fullbacks and wing backs, it could be great for 5 mil. Hume has been playing right wing in pre-season for Sunderland, and he's even scored twice, despite being a 4.5 mil defender in FPL. The thing with Hume is he's not first choice in any position, that's the thing going against him, but Lebris loves him and he'll just fit him in the team wherever he can. Now, something that's worth flagging up is Munir missed their final friendly, which saw Taube in right wing and Hume playing in right back. If Munir looks fine for Game Week 1, then of course Hume is still a really fun pick, assuming that he'll play right wing against Ipswich, plus they got Fulham home in Game Week 2. I'm less sure on him currently now. Sunderland are set to start the season without Mukiele and Alderete in the back line, so the clean sheet potential a little bit reduced there. 09 is 4 mil and probably starts in centre back, but he's such a short term pick, I would avoid him. Lefay isn't the one that's really getting into those dangerous positions that often. He does have the set piece and pen duty, so he's still a valid pick. Ballard the target on set pieces. And lastly Tottenham, and then we'll have a look at the form players and bring it all together. Now Solanke picked up an injury, so 6 mil Richarlison's the one that's been leading the line. He's got 3 goals, he's played in every game. Tonali could be good for 5.5 mil, but I do prefer others for the same price like Gross and Sangare. Van Heck hit DEFCON in their final game against Hoffenheim with exactly 10 DEFCONs, only defender who did it. And Spencer's joined into this window, so Pedro Porro looks good to go from Game Week 1. He's one to consider for 5.5 mil, going under the radar. Yes, Spurs were terrible for most of last season, but after De Zerbi came in, they were best in the league for expected goals conceded from his arrival to the end of the season. And that was with a threadbare squad. They've changed the spine of the team. They've got Van Heck in, Senesi's in, Fernandes, Tonali, and there's more business to be done before the window closes. So I really like Kinski for 4.5 mil in goal as well. There's no uncertainty Kinski or Vicario. He's the undisputed number 1 this season. So lastly, let's bring it all together with a summary and a table of the most in-form players. João Pedro, as I said earlier, he's miles ahead with 10 goal involvements in pre-season. And then you've got Zolis on 7 goal involvements, 1 goal, 6 assists. Buendia with 6, and you've got Calvert-Lewin and Semenya with 5. And then some players to name with 4 involvements: Igor Jesus, Thiago, Mbumo, Barry, Sharda and Davis. Just on João Pedro though, Chelsea as well have got no Europe to juggle this season. It cannot be understated how much that can help with the league performance levels when you've got no Europe. We saw Man United bounce immediately back after a year out of Europe last season, which would have helped a lot, plus the manager change of course. So who's got the best opening fixtures that will help translate that form straight over to the season? Projected goals first, which has got Man City top over the opening 8 game weeks, and then it's Arsenal, then it's Man United, then it's Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth and Spurs. Projected clean sheets is a different list, and that's the importance of breaking down fixture difficulty ratings by goal and clean sheets rather than just the overall colour that FPL does by default. Arsenal top, and then it's Man City, and then Man United, Liverpool, Brighton, Chelsea, Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle and Brentford. The goals and the clean sheets ticker is one of the premium features you get on FPL.page and my app. You can choose a game week range, you can remove teams, remove game weeks, sort by rotation. So that's on FPL.page and on my app. Don't miss that 80% off flash sale before it's gone. Thank you very much for watching. I'm back tomorrow with the players to buy video. See you soon for the next one.